Hello, I'm Ron Woody, Roane County Executive. It is the afternoon of November the 12th, 2020. We are starting, this is our first treasurer of the year 2020. And we're having to do our event just a little bit different than we've had in the past. Generally, we have all of our treasurers to come into the courthouse, and at that time we have a cake and some snacks, and we have all of our treasurers lined up together. And we go through a ceremony with all of them, with all of their family and friends. But because of COVID-19, we've had to restrict that a little bit. We have set up here at the old Roane County Courthouse, which is a good place to be. And we will have each treasurer come in individually with their family and friends. So we pause out of our busy lives to remember some of Roane County's history as we honor this year 8 individuals who helped make Roane County what it is today. Roane County Treasurers were started in 2007 to honor individuals who have made a significant contribution to Roane County through their dedicated service to public, private, and/or charitable organizations. Roane County was established on November the 6th, 1801. It's kind of appropriate that we're in the old courthouse here. Therefore, it is fitting that we try to have our Roane Treasurers celebration honoring these individuals sometime during close to this November date. Generally, we have again all of our treasurers together to do the celebration, and when we do, we tell stories about them that's been given to us, but really what happens often is the treasurers get along and they know each other and they start having their own conversations, and sometimes they leave us out of it, but they have a good time. This year we have to pause and say thank you individually. But a good thing may have come out of this as we have changed from the normal presentation to that where we can preserve the memories and honor these individuals, and we will have and put this on a YouTube channel. So you can see this one as our first one, and then we'll have another 7 that will follow. This program has had several names over the years. It may have started out as Roane County Living Treasurers and then Roane County Founders, but today and for the last number of years we've said these are Roane County Treasurers. The program was loosely established based on accomplishments, dealing with the age of the individuals and these individuals being selected by commissioners in each district. The criteria has been 70 plus for a treasurer and 90 plus for a golden treasurer. These guidelines have been followed with some minor exceptions over the years. We generally honor 6 to 8 individuals, or 6 to 9. We've had as many as 9, I think. And you know what we found out over the years is there's more treasurers in our communities than a lot of times we recognize. So at any time, if you're listening to this YouTube video, at any time you discover a treasurer in your neighborhood, in your family that's in Roane County, please give our office a call. We'd like to write their name down, and we can track them throughout the year and let our county commissioners know some treasurers that have been brought to our attention. So anytime during the year, just give us a call if you are aware of one. So I always like to say, here's some of our characteristics of treasurers. So this year, and again we have 8, we have 2 Army veterans, one from the Korean War and one from World War II. We have a Navy vet, and I think we have actually 2, one with 20 years of service, probably started in the Korean War, but one also a World War II vet. We have a U.S. Army or U.S. Air Force, and we also have a Marine. We have a Bronze Star who also has a Army Good Conduct Medal and some others. Some of their contributions of these 8 treasurers have been volunteers from Hands of Mercy, Habitat for Humanity. Some have served on utility boards, banks, boards, We've had them to help build and rebuild churches and houses in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. We've had, this year, we'll have a coach or two and a teacher. We have individuals from various faiths, Baptist, Presbyterian. Some have been Sunday school teachers, deacons. We have a few that are Masonic Lodge members. They've held jobs at Oak Ridge at K-25 as electricians. We have a lawyer this year, and again, Sunday school teachers, county attorney, county judge, someone, and this is interesting to see, that worked at Eastman Kodak, or Eastman, it was Eastman, it wasn't Eastman Kodak at the time, which was one of the first operators in one of our facilities in Oak Ridge, and then also worked at Union Carbide, and then Martin Marietta, the same individual, and also TDA. There has been some unique activities of our individuals. We have one this year that worked on the President Nixon's helicopter. We had one that, one of his first jobs was setting up bowling pins back before it was automated. We had one that had the typhoid fever. So there's a lot of individuals, characteristics that we have. We're glad today to have our first one, Hoke Culbertson. And Ben, he was nominated by Ben Wilson, that comes out of and Mike Hooks, David Bashir's, Kingston, kind of the Sugar Grove Valley area. I think Hoke, he was telling me you live in Sugar Grove Valley, you have property up at East Rome County. So Ben was your primary nominator, though. He came across you, I think, at the gym. I guess you still work out some. And Ben, I'm going to turn it over to you. But Hope, it's a pleasure to have you here today. We thank you for your service to our great country. And Ben has a few words he would like to share. And has one of our county commissioners is also a military individual, and he has a special gift for you. And after Ben is finished, we'll give you a plaque. Your name will go on a plaque that's in the courthouse. This is our third one. This is our third plaque. We have had 74, I think, individuals whose names are on our plaque, and we'll add 8 more to it this year. So Ben, if you would please come and share a few words.
Hello everyone, I'm glad that you could make it. I'm probably a little more informal when I'm doing this because I've got to tell you how, well, like I said, when I first met him, I was at the gym, one of our local gyms, and the owner's looking at me and he said, "You know who that is over there?" And I said, No, I don't know him. He said, "That's Hoke Culbertson. He's 99 years old at that time and was working out." I was like, I need to get with him a little more. I need to do a little bit more. He's making me look bad over here. He was just going at it on the bike, and I was so impressed. And then we got to talking about how you were a World War II veteran. And I just was so impressed with some of the stories that's being told. And before I'm going to read something that Miss Amber Kofer, I want to give her some kudos too. During this time, Amber has worked tirelessly, having to deal through the situations of COVID and getting a lot of this information for us. So I would like to thank her personally for helping out in that. But one thing I've noticed is you can say Hoke around town. You can say Hoke, and people will say, "I know who you're talking about." Hoke is a name you don't hear much, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I hope my grandkids are named Hoke. But I just love the name. And I personally want to thank you, along with everyone here, for your service to this country. And it is so fitting that yesterday was Veterans Day. Even better would have been even yesterday that we could have done this for you. But I'm going to read this, and this is just a little bio that was given. And then we'll talk, and I want to hear some stories from you. I know. Hoke Culbertson was born in March the 30th, 1920 in Sergeantsville, is that correct? Yeah, Tennessee, to Jephthah and Lizzie Culbertson. Hoke's first wife, Mary, passed away in '87. He married Bee in 1997, spending 22 years together until her passing in April of 2019. Hoke has 2 stepdaughters. Hoke is a 1941 graduate. I said 1941 graduate. That's impressive. Of Churchill High School. He enlisted in the United States Navy in the summer of 1941, being deployed to the Solomon Islands, Normandy, Alaska, and the Philippines. In World War II, Hoke served abroad a couple of destroyers, serving as an electrician mate. The Navy veteran was assigned to the USS Gridley, where he quickly found himself in the northern Pacific around Alaska, where it was cold, miserable, and rough seas. He saw a lot of action in the Pacific, including rescue missions and well-known maneuver of World War II. After that, he went to the South Pacific for Solomon Islands. Hoke returned to the United States on September the 11th of 1943, being transferred off the Gridley to Boston to put a new ship in commission. That new ship was the USS O'Brien. Most of Hoke's memories were focused on the USS O'Brien. The O'Brien was involved in the invasion of Normandy. Hoke recalls being hit by a German shore battery shell, killing 13 men. The O'Brien was also involved in the Leyte operations, including Luzon attacks, the Ormoc Bay landings, and Luzon operation, including Mindoro and Lagayan Gulf landing in 1944. The war ended in September of 1945, and Culbertson got out of the Navy in November of 1945. Hoke had a number of close calls during his service. One of Hoke's proudest moments was on July the 5th, 1943, in the Battle of Kula Gulf. The USS Helena was sunk. It was carrying about 1,000 people. About 700 to 750 of these individuals were picked up by surrounding ships, and around 165 made their way to an island called Vela La Vela, where postmasters and missionaries hid the Americans from Japanese patrols. Hoke was part of the rescue crew that slipped in days later to rescue these stranded sailors without a single shot being fired. Hoke returned to civilian life in 1945, coming to Oak Ridge in 1952, where a Tennessee Eastman, Union Carbide, Martin Marietta, and TVA, where he worked. Hoke made the move to Roane County in 1962, where he enjoys a quiet, peaceful life of the banks of the Clinch River in Kingston. Hoke is a member of the Young's Chapel Cumberland Presbyterian Church and a 65-year member of the Masonic Lodge. One thing Hoke would like to pass along to Roane County is, this is probably the most profound statement at the very end. Because when you're talking to someone that is 100 years old, such as Hoke, and he's given a piece of advice, I want to listen. I want to hone in to what he's saying, because he's seen more than any of us here. He's been down a trail that none of us have been down. And he's probably got more wisdom than anyone that I can think of. And the last thing is, be patriotic, law-abiding, and love thy neighbor. I think those 3 things is coming from a lot of wisdom. And I just personally want to say thank you. I think it's...
One mistake.
What's that? I'm sure I made more than one.
Just for the record, I joined the Navy on July the 19th, 41.
Did you really?
July. I believe it said December, didn't
I could have. Was it July? Was it July?
Yeah.
Wow.
July 19th, 1941. Yeah.
Well, is there anything you'd like to
Yeah, anything you'd like to share with us, any more wisdom? I mean, it's, in years gone by, when we have a lot of people up here, they have a conversation going by because somebody says, hey, I remember. And,
I don't have a lot to say, but I certainly appreciate this privilege of being invited to this elite group, and I've enjoyed my life in Roane County. I feel I'm almost a native now.
well, we accept you as a native.
Okay, thank you.
So when was your birthday?
March 30th.
You were 100
Yeah.
on March 30th.
Yeah.
That's just awesome.
I went in the Navy next July, 80 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't have a lot to say, but I really appreciate this, and I don't deserve it, but I appreciate it.
Well, we have a couple of pieces of hardware we'll give you. Let me make sure I've got the right one. One of them is just to honor you for being a golden treasure of Rome County. So there's a plaque.
Thank you, sir.
We have a certificate that goes along with that, which the county does that, but we have something for you from one of our county commissioners. Anytime he's aware of a World War II veteran, you brought in a cane, but he has made you a cane. I think he gets this wood out of South America, doesn't he?
I think so.
And he puts a little coin, and I don't even know, I can't even see what the coin says.
It's talking about the full armor of God.
Okay, the full armor of God. So
Who made this now?
Shannon Hester.
Shannon Hester. He's one of our county commissioners from South Rome County. Shannon Hester.
Okay, I don't know why I did this.
Oh, he's a veteran himself,
Yeah.
and because of that, because of what he feels about our veterans,
Yeah.
especially our World War
Yeah,
II veterans.
That's great, I thank you.
So we're so glad you came in today.
I've got one thing. I got to ask you one question. So, if there's people that's going to be watching this, and they'll be watching on YouTube, what is one piece of advice that you would give right now? If you could think of one thing, what one piece of advice would you give?
Wear your mask.
Well, we got our. We want to make sure
That's a classic.
protect each other.
Oh, you're funny.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
my goodness.
We appreciate you sharing your time with us today.
Thank you so much, thank you so much.
Thank you.